Let me ask you, when is the last time you pointed at your empty wrist and asked a stranger if they could tell you what time it is? Probably not recently. However, watches have changed from being merely a time-telling instrument to becoming a fashion item. Let's find out more.
As the American fashion editor once said to a journalist from England, "Oh, you're the only person I know who still wears a watch." And there's probably hundreds of people that have moved from wearing a wristwatch to utilizing their mobile phone, blackjack or desktop computer for time-telling purposes. Does this mean the watch, much like the fountain pen, is out of fashion, or that the use of a watch has changed?
Gone are the days where a timepiece was merely just for telling the time and you had two hands on a dial. What's coming out now is a lot of watches that are geared towards the younger market, the teenager and the youth market, and those will probably be very funky, made out of plastic, very colorful brands. That's been increasing quite a bit into them, permeating the market. And I also think a lot of watches that are also geared towards the sportsman. I think there's been a change in the way sports are played these days and what sportsmen are demanding. So there's a huge change there as well. But I think there's been a metamorphosis back to a more evolutionary wristwatch and probably a fashion accessory.
That extra bling around your wrist comes at a price, with a simple entry-level wristwatch starting at a few £100 all the way up into the 100,000s. But when the price of your watch equals that of a house or a car, it might be more appropriate to refer to your new piece as a timepiece rather than just a watch. With more zeros floating around time than on a digital watch face, Father Time would be foolish not to cash in.
I think what's actually happened, you find in a lot of countries in the world, I think probably South Africa is a good example, where parents are, not all parents, but certainly children are being instilled by certain values from their parents, and a lot of that might be brand-conscious branding from the kids, from their parents. So what has actually happened now, again, it's like buying a branded pair of jeans, where distributors and manufacturers have realized this is a niche market to corner. Again, it's ranging from materials that might not be breakable, that might not be as durable, but certainly might be in terms of plastic or rubber, which has great strength and resilience. And again, I think if you look at young adults, we start buying brand items at a very young age. And again, it's fostering brand loyalty. Those kids who are buying those watches today, whether they're between, say, 12 and 20, might very well stick with those companies and those brands. So that when they reach their 30s and in the age where they might become serious collectors, the watch aficionados might aspire to the brands they've grown up with all these years.
At one time, digital time was taking over from traditional watch faces, but now it seems both can tick away quite happily together. It's not just about simple watches anymore, and manufacturers are taking the time to add extra features and settings to market watches to the retired or up-and-coming yachtsman, pilot or secret agent.